Okay, so I wanted to come back to this track and just do just a breakdown of it, because on this channel I'm usually posting the longer versions. On my main channel I just post the short versions of me creating these tracks, but then here I'm posting like the slightly edited, basically non-edited version of me, so you're able to see me creating tracks from scratch and like the whole process. But when I was recording this one, I ran into an issue which now I fixed, so like all the other videos this problem won't happen. But when I was opening plugins and everything, it wasn't actually showing the plugins. It was only recording Logic Pro X. So like for a lot of the recording and everything, if I posted a long version, all the sound design that I was doing, you wouldn't have been able to see it. So yeah, instead of posting that, I thought, okay, well, might as well, let's just do a breakdown instead. But yeah, I'm just gonna show the different sounds I used, what, sound libraries they were, and kind of show the audio effects I put on them and kind of the choices I made, and just the sound design I did for a few of them, because I did do a lot of tweaking on some of them, like this ambient effect. But once again, on the main video, it wasn't shown, so I'll show it here. I guess I'll start off by playing the whole track, just so you guys can remember. Yeah. And also, yes, I'm aware that it's peaking. Because I was just making an intro, I wasn't really worrying too much about that. I would usually I guess lower all of them and then kind of tweak with the volume so that it ends around -3, -6. I mean, just down there below so that it has space to master. But anyway, let me go to the first thing I started with, which was, I believe, the piano. Yeah, this part. Yeah, which that was the Nor piano, which that's one of my favorite piano VST. It's from Native Instruments. They have two versions. There's the pure and then there's the felt, which the felt you're able to hear like the pedals clear and like not the clicking sound, I don't know, the fabric. You're able to hear all of those different sounds from the recording, while the pure one is more kind of less of that stuff and more just very clean sounding, I would say. But yeah, I did the scoring preset. It's very, very nice. But yeah, I started with that. I didn't really tweak much here. Sometimes I'll lower the pedal in the mechanics because I really just want the piano sound clear. And then depending, I might lower the sub. But this one, I don't know why I didn't. I usually would, because this is only doing high notes. Although I do remember, yeah, I started out playing with the piano chords, right? This is a piano, because I started with the chords. So I wasn't really worrying about the sound design yet. I was just doing that. But yeah, after that I put a LA2A, which this is just a very solid compressor just to raise the volume, put the gain up a little bit, and then I put a ROM, which I like this reverb for very spacious high-end stuff, because it has a nice, compared to like vintage verb from Valhalla, this one has a very nice high end, so I like using ROM for that type of stuff, for very spacious like high-end stuff. Yeah, and then like that little brush thing that you hear at the beginning is like the pedal, the volume of the pedal, this thing. Then I started adding strings, which yeah, you were able to see the velocity thing I did, where it just starts strong and then it kind of like crescendos up, which is nice. For that I use Albion 1. It was a mix between, I have a few of my own like favorite presets that I just kind of like put together. So if I go to Albion 1, yeah, user patches, and I have one for string short, and it combines the short staccato with spiccato, and then also collegno and the octave ones, but I have those muted for this one. But yeah, I turned on the close and the tree mics for both of them. And yeah, and this is how it sounds. But yeah, this is Spitfire's Albion 1. Very, very good strings. They're just very, I love their strings specifically because they're very, good for like the scoring texture, for like warmth, and just like they just sound full. They sound like that classic orchestra. And then I added yeah, these are I think the intimate strings from East West, Hollywood strings. Uh, yeah, close up and intimate is what it says. But yeah, I just took the violas, spiccatos, and then the second violin spiccatos because I liked how those two sounded. I think in the video I was testing out different ones, and then I went to these two, found these two, panned them a little left and right, and then just yeah. They have more of like a rustic feeling compared to these ones that sound very just classic and clean. So like together, I like the yeah, they sound good together. And then the synths, which I have this one, which that one just sounds very good. Oh, also, oh no, never mind. I was looking at the bus. Okay, that one sounds very good. Which I used Serum. Also, I just wanted to say, also for these things, I would usually because I was just making the idea and not really doing any mixing and mastering. But I usually mix as I go, and I would usually just have an EQ, which I use FabFilter's Pro Q, and take out the lows for like all the sounds. Same thing with the piano, and I'll just have it right here. But I was just making an idea, a cinematic intro idea, so I didn't really do that this time. But for the most part, I would usually do that. But yeah, anyway, this is from Serum, and it was from one of my packs. One of my favorite packs, which is from Ryo's. He's in the EDM world, but he has two Serum preset packs that just have so many amazing sounds, and it's one of their plucks, his plucks, and it just sounds so clean and good and very like it's for like progressive house and like big room and like just EDM genres like that. But like I love the sound because it really sounds good for like cinematic stuff as well. So yeah, that one's good. I also had one more synth over here. Yeah, this one. Oh, so this one is from... Okay, yeah. This one is from Evolution Devastator Breakout Pro. Or Evolution Devastator Breakout. Which this one is a... yeah, this is from Keep Forest. They have a... They're really known for like their cinematic VSTs. And like they have a lot of good like impacts and like basses and Brahms and stuff like that. But this is one of their cinematic synth plucks that I found, and I was using it as a layer. Yeah. But yeah, that one layered with this Serum one. It just was very, very clean, very good. And all of them together, let me just... I love the sound of like real instruments like strings mixed with like synth arps, because like for cinematic, like hybrid cinematic stuff, like it always like has just that tone, that sound. I love mixing them together because like if I'm looking for more orchestral, I'll just raise the strings and less synths. With sound design, you can just tweak so much and just make them sound the way you want. But yeah, I did put the low cut on the synths over here. Yeah, I might have just honestly forgot to even do it because I already put them in a bus together. But I would have done that. Then from there, I was looking for hits. Yeah, which you were able to see this. But a lot of the hits I like to get are from Evolution Devastator Warzone. I have their instant VST, but also their sample pack has a lot of good trailer hits. There's just a bunch of good ones here. But yeah, I just took two of them. There was the first one you heard, and then oh yes, and then this one I took out the lows because without it it's like this, um, which sounds good and everything. But I wanted this one to have the main bottom hit. It's like layered together. They're just cleaner. Yeah. And then I forgot exactly where I went from there, but I'll just keep on saying all the things I added. I remember I was trying to make a string melody, but then I wasn't really feeling it. So instead I doubled the piano with this synth layer. Just making the piano sound a little more spacious. And this sound is also from Evolution Devastator Breakout. One of their cinematic synthplex again. And then I threw on a compressor. Once again, the LA2A, the silver one. I love this one. It's just very solid and clean. Good for like just bracing your instruments. I wouldn't put drums, or I wouldn't put this on drums. And I wouldn't put this on bass, but like anything else though, I put it on. And then once again, Brahm, because I wanted the high-end spacious feel. And then I put a low cut because this had a lot of noise under it. And I put the low cut high because it's doing high notes. But yeah, you can see all of that. It's just making a lot of noise down here, so I wanted that gone just to make the mix sound cleaner. Okay, next. I think this is the that call I was. Yeah, that's the Brahm I used. A lead bender from Evolution Devastator Breakout. Although if the note held on longer, it would turn into it would bend a note down, but I didn't really want that. I just wanted to stay on the same note, so I kind of just made it this length for that. But yeah, this is just one of their lead benders. Basically a Brahm. I took out the lows because it had a lot of lows, and I didn't want lows from that one specifically. And then another to LA2A, and then I put Valhalla Vintage Verb because I wasn't really looking for a high end with this one, but I just wanted a clean, nice sounding reverb that extended a while. So I kind of just did the main. I didn't click any presets. I just kind of did the main page, set it to ambient mode, and then raised the decay to around 9 seconds, and then put the mix to taste. I hired the low cut to 150, so once again, it doesn't reverb the low end. Yeah, and yeah, I'll play it one more time. So there's that sound. And then this other sound that's in the middle of each one, of each 8-bar section. Yeah, which that one is one of their signatures, the amped signatures. There's a bunch of signatures that are just very cinematic, cool sounds. But yeah, I clicked the amp signature. They also have just other things, modern ones, bass ones, short ones, specific ones, which it's not very descriptive, but like when you hear them, they're very cinematic. But the amped ones sound like they're coming out of like an amp or like a tape box and stuff like that. So they sound very, very cool, like a guitar amp. But yeah, without the effects, this one sounds like, without the effects I put on it, this one sounds like this. Yeah. Because on the main sound, I think I lowered the attack or lowered the release, I think. And then I think it had delays, but then I took it off, or echoes, but then I took it off because I wanted to do my own. And then also it started a little, it doesn't start right when it clicks. Like there's a little bit of like space right here, and then the sample starts. So I kind of bounced it out and then moved it a little bit back so that it starts right on the downbeat. But first I put an EQ and kind of like filter the high end out because I wanted it to sound in the mix and not just blaring. So without it is, but then with it, it sounds a little bit cleaner. And then I put Echo Boy Jr. because that one's solid. I set the echo to like 1 bar, so it would just do. I just wanted one clean echo. Yeah. And then I raised the feedback a little bit so it can just like go a little bit more. And then by the time the new hits come, it's basically gone. I set the tape to ambient because that one sounded nice. Honestly, all of these sound good. But I set that one to ambient. 1 bar, echo time, a little bit of feedback, and then the mix at the middle. Then I set the mode to wide instead of normal or ping pong because I wasn't looking for ping pong. I wanted a little bit wider of an echo. And then high cut and low cut, I set the taste because once again, I didn't want too much of high end and I wanted to cut the lows. Yeah. And then finally after that was Valhalla Vintage Verb, which I basically just once again use the main preset it starts with and then set the low cut to 150 and I liked 4 seconds, that was fine. And then the mix basically at the middle and then yeah, the mode to the set mode it starts with. But yeah, here is the sound with all three. Yeah. Okay. Then over here, I think this was it. Yeah, this was the low brass. Yeah. So the low brass over here. Yeah, that one is clean. Yeah, that one is clean. I used the trailer low brass from Evolution Devastator Deathmatch, which is one of their earlier versions of Devastator. Honestly, the Evolution Devastator series just has so many good cinematic sounds for like anything you're trying to do in terms of cinematic sounds, like cinematic songs, trailer tracks, hybrid cinematic tracks, like all of those. But yeah, these sound very good. They're just extremely good. With the Brahm and the hits, it's just so strong. Yeah, crazy. Then over here we have a boom. And I put Vintage Verb on it. Once again, I put the ambient and raised the seconds of the decay and then low cut. And yeah, once again, this is Evolution Devastator Breakout Pro. And I used their booms. They have good ones that just sound good. And a lot of times when you have like a boom with like a high piano, it just sounds, kind of just that classic cinematic sound. So I like that a lot. Then we have this ambient thing, which when I was making this ambient thing, it started out with this sound. Which was cool. And that was from, once again, Evolution Devastator Breakout. Their atmospheric long resonances. They have a lot of different resonances that just fill in the space that sound good. And I took one of their atmospheric ones, but they have a lot of good ones. They have one and then also two of atmospheric long ones. The classic ones are good. Low ones are good if you're looking for like a low one. Signature ones are like very specific and just very a little bit more out there than the other ones. But yeah, there's a lot of good ones here. But yeah, I use one of them, and then I bounce it out so I can get my favorite part, and I turned it into a riser. And this is without all the effects, and I'll go one by one because this one I did the most sound design for. So I kind of just like I put a fade in and a fade out. I raised the semitones by one because that made it in key. And then, yeah, I kind of faded it out and then bent it so that it, like, the most loud part just comes right here and then it just goes away and slowly comes back or slowly like builds into it. Um, then I added an EQ, kind of taking out these lows just because it was sounding very I don't know, that frequency was being a little annoying. And then I boosted this right here, so that it can have a little more presence. Um, which helps it a little bit. Also, sorry, I just realized I don't know where my face cam was, but yeah, I boosted this frequency and lowered this over here. Yeah, just hearing that frequency alone, but then the whole thing. Yeah. And then I threw on a Focus One, which this one I like to use for leads and kind of just making any sound powerful. So like lead stacks and like chord stacks and just like any type of instrument stacks, like string stacks and stuff like that. Just making it sound powerful. But yeah, I automated this one. I automated the focus and the drive, which the focus is kind of like a boost to like the mid highs and almost the mids and the highs. Yeah, the mids and mid highs and highs. Around there, honestly. Maybe it's not even the mids, just the mid highs. But it boosts those kind of like in an OTT way, um, like a multiband type of way. It's very powerful. So yeah, I boosted it so that it slowly goes up, and then I also boosted the drive, which that's just the drive. It just makes it louder. Um, but yeah, so you can see those in action. So it gets quite louder. And then I threw on an OTT, um, which multiband upwards and downwards compressor. Um, it's a very powerful one, but usually you need to set the depth pretty low because it's a plugin that it's an audio effect that makes your sound go crazy quite quickly. Um, but yeah, so I threw on a little bit of depth, just at 31%. Yeah, which you can already hear the high end getting a little bit stronger from that. Um, and then I throw on thermal, which thermal is from Output, and they have thermal, and they also have this plugin called Portal, um, which both of those plugins are just very very good for sound design. Um, thermal, I use the width and heat preset. They have just a ton of really good presets in here. Um, but yeah, this made it like a little bit grittier in the high end. So gritty is probably the wrong word, but like just very I guess it is a good word for it. On the high end, and also just kind of made it a little wider. So yeah, there's that. Then I threw on Shaperbox and I did this with the pan, which Shaperbox are able to edit like a lot of different things. But I I took the pan, and I made it go left to right. Like it starts slowly going left to right, and then near the end it just goes crazy. So you can see it in context here. Yeah, and if you're wearing headphones, you can definitely tell. Like it's going left to right really quickly. Yeah, so there's that. And then finally, I added a reverb. And I believe yeah, I automated the reverb so that it plays basically near the end. So like there's basically no reverb, the mix knob, until near the end, and then it just reverbs away. And yeah, I use ambient with a little bit more decay, around 7 seconds, and then cut the lows. So you can see this, the mix knob. You can see the mix knob just go up. So yeah, that was that sound. Um, yeah, doing a lot for just like a short little riser, but sound design is fun because like you learn things as you go, and like you get faster as you do it, and it just feels like second nature. Um, so if you have a few seconds and you're like tweaking a sound and like it's not really sounding the way you want, I mean, I'd advise like still give it a little chance, like give it some time, just a little bit of time, just try out some things, throw in some audio effects, and then if you really don't like it after doing some sound design, then yeah, just move on. But always try still, instead of just trying to make like every single thing out of the box sound good right away with just a preset. But like tweak it and try things. Anyway, next I threw in this bass. Oh wait, no, the bass is over here. This bass. Yeah, which this one is a Reese bass. Once again from Rios's presets. It's Reese Dark. Usually when I'm going for a Reese bass, I'll go to this one I got from Splice, from this Future Pop pack. I got the whole pack because they just had decent sounds. But this Reese pad sounds really good. I put the notes in and then I put on an EQ, and I'm kind of like, here, I'll turn off the other things real quick. So as you can see, it starts off like with all like a high cut, a very strong high cut, and then it slowly opens up, so you can hear the high end again. And then I throw on our bass. Our bass is from Waves, and it is an incredible bass audio effect just to make your bass sound full and like well mixed, honestly. It really cleans up like the subs, like it just makes it sound good. So I like to use this a lot for any like bass stacks I'm doing. Although this is just one bass, so it's not a bass stack. It's just one bass, but it's still good. So you'll hear the subs a lot cleaner and strong and full. Yeah. And then finally, I throw on a Focus One for this, because I think I was trying to get the mid highs, so that's why I threw that on. But and did I? I think I also automated it. Let me check. Yeah, I automated the Focus One, Sear macro. Oh, I also did this. But yeah, here, let me show this first. I automated the focus, which once again does raises the mid highs, so that I wanted this one to have more presence near the end. Yeah, just like that. Over here, the bass was kind of like, you couldn't even hear it much, so that's why I wanted the mid highs, like just so it can have a little more clarity. And then this preset has a stereo spread macro, so I was kind of raising that because I wanted it to be wider as we went. So you'll see this, go up a little bit. This one right here. Just making it wider as it goes. Then I added a choir, which yeah, I'll turn off all the effects first and then show the instruments. This is once again from East West. And I like their Hollywood choir. I used the woman's epic awe and then the men's epic awe and kind of just stacked them together and put the volumes to taste. And then, yeah, I kind of left it alone like that. And then, all together, it just sounds very full. Their choirs are very good. I throw on Focus One, and I had the focus and the drive kind of raised, once again, because I wanted the mid highs to like get stronger as it goes. Yeah, very powerful and strong. Then I put an EQ, cutting out the lows, and then I put a gain, which I think I used the gain near the end. I automated. Oh no, I started at a low volume and then I raised it. Yeah, because I wanted it to kind of like build where it's like kind of present and then it just, then you hear it and then it builds. But yeah, that's what I did for the choir. And then I threw a shout over here. Oh no, those are the hits. Sorry, the shout is somewhere else. But might as well do the hits real quick. I went to the trailer drums. RR means round robin. So like when you hit these, you see right here, there's different boxes, and like each one of them is the same hit, but a little bit of a different variation. So it doesn't sound very stagnant or static. It sounds a little more dynamic. So, but yeah, I had a hit at the beginning here, the middle, and then I had these 3 hits at the end because I wanted it to like kind of build into something. If this track extended, it would build into something new and kind of give space for that. So with these hits, had it kind of like this. I put the velocity lower here and here so it can just strong hit and then kind of build into another strong hit. So here's how it sounds with the hits. Yeah. And for that hit, I put it DST because I just wanted it to sound a little bit more powerful. So I kind of set the distortion to where I wanted it and then kind of raised the different parts I wanted. Yeah. And it sounded, here's without the DST. And then with it. Yeah, it just kind of raised the frequencies that I wanted it to raise. And then where is the, I think it was this. Is this a shout? Yeah, that's the shout. Let me turn off the effects over here. And then these delays. So this was the main shout on its own. This is from Evolution Devastator Warzone. Let me put it over here. Okay. Which yeah, that's the audio effect right there. Let me show it. I threw on these 2 delays, or I started with these 2 delays, but they were in different modes that I didn't want. I set it to 1/4 so I can have it like, you know, straight, because I think before it was on a dotted 1/8 or something like that. And the main one right here does that main echo that you're hearing, this thing. And then this one is on diffusion mode instead of modern mode, which it kind of just like, it's almost like a reverb and just kind of like echoey, like reverbs out. And then from there, I threw on an EQ, kind of taking out the lows because it was very noisy. And then I threw on Verb analog machines from UAD, Universal Audio, because it's very, yeah, it's a good tape machine, and I use their thicken mode, and I just raised the warble a little bit in the drive. I didn't really raise any drive because I didn't need that, but yeah. But you can tell the difference. It got a little bit louder, but then also some of the highs are gone, so like, let me turn it off, and you hear it. Let me turn it on. Just a little bit gone. But yeah, once again, that sound with the low brass hits and the Brahm sounds very powerful. So yeah, that's very clean. When I was looking for different strings and brass for a melody, I kind of deleted them because I wasn't feeling them anymore. But I kept this one and let it layer with this other, the main brass, or the main bass. Just to give it that, because like that brass feel always gives cinematic vibes. So this was from East West, and it was the from the Hollywood brass gold, and it was their sustained low brass. Yeah, and it's a clean sound. Yeah, is the last thing the risers? I think it is. Yeah. Yeah. So they're from another project that I have, a different song that I was making, or I made. And they're like really them two together really sound good. Um, but honestly from the name I can say where they're from, which this one is the riser number one, or yeah. This one, I'll solo this one. That one is from Oversampled, which he's another electronic producer that makes honestly a lot of really good sample packs. But his ultimate future based toolkit, in his effects and then risers, might be the number one. Yeah, that one, which that one's really good. And then this one is from I believe Keep Forest Breakout. Is that Breakout Pro? It might be. Um, Tonal risers from Breakout in the core pack of Breakout. Uh, One shots. Yeah, yeah, the reverse FX, FX risers, and then tonal risers, and it's number 17. No, what number was it? 10. Yeah, yeah, it's that one. So those two together just sound very powerful. And I faded them in so they weren't crazy strong at the beginning and then became very strong at the end. Yeah, that was all of the sounds in this track. But yeah, this one was fun to make, and I'll continue to make more cinematic stuff because I love making cinematic tracks. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. And I will see you in the next one.